This footage was captured at 4:30 a.m. on April 29, 2023. It happened in El Paso, Texas. The video shows a young woman running up to the front door of a house and ringing the doorbell. Although nobody else can be seen in the frame, terrified, she looks over her shoulder multiple times as if she was being followed. The woman begs for help and starts crying when nobody answers the door, and a few seconds later, a car's headlights come into view in the background. As soon as she sees the light, the woman crouches down behind a column, and she does the same thing again when she sees the neighbor's driveway lights turn on. After a few minutes of waiting, a car's headlights illuminate the driveway and the woman walks down the steps towards it. It's possible that she got in the car, but this wasn't caught on the Ring camera. As soon as the footage was made public, many people started speculating that the woman might have been the victim of trafficking and was trying to escape her captors, but others believed that she had a totally different motive. Several viewers mentioned that if she really had been in danger, she wouldn't have hid from the neighbors when she saw their driveway lights turn on. Another thing that caught viewers' attention is the fact that at the very beginning of the video, the woman isn't actually running. She appears to be casually walking up the steps, and she only begins to run when she comes into view of the doorbell camera, which suggests that the whole thing might have been a robbery setup. Less than a month after the footage was uploaded, El Paso police arrested 34-year-old Krista Nicole Cordeaux for burglary. After her mugshot was released, some people believed that it was the same woman from the video due to the resemblance, but police never officially confirmed this. It's unclear if she was ever seen in the neighborhood again. The Rampant Range is part of a front range of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, made up of almost entirely public land within the Pike National Forest. In the summer, you'll find lots of bikers enjoying the Rampant Range's elaborate trail system and exploring the great outdoors. For the most part, this part of Colorado is a paradise for anyone who enjoys spending time in nature. But over the past few years, there's been a pretty alarming trend on the rise, with random people setting up wires on trees at just about head height in an effort to seriously injure bikers on the trail. In 2019, a post describing this terrifying trend was uploaded to Facebook. And disturbingly, the uploader mentioned that one of his high school friends had lost his life as a result of running into a similar wire on a trail. Immediately, people jumped into the comments to point out how incredibly messed up it would be to do something like this, and how this kind of evil needs to be categorized as attempted murder if the suspects are ever caught. A couple of years before that post was made, in 2017, two motorbike riders uploaded a video to YouTube of their encounter with a similar wire, and although nothing happened to them, it was a very close call.
There's that noise again now. Hello? Hello? You got to be able to hear that. There's nobody here.
About 40 minutes into the video, the footstep noises can be heard again, and this time it sounds like they're getting closer to Daniel. By this point, most people would have hightailed it out of there without any hesitation, but Daniel decides to sit back down to finish his dinner as he tries to calm his nerves for the second time. Amazingly, a few minutes later, it almost seems like he completely forgets about the footsteps and manages to think about less disturbing things, which is honestly pretty impressive. But as darkness sets in, the eerie footsteps start up again.
I'm going to be honest. I can't stay here now. I'm going to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments, but I can't stay here. I'm too unsettled. I'm nervous. I've done camping like this a load of times. I think I'm going to go find somewhere else to get this bivvy set up. But I'm leaving this spot.
Understandably, after this third incident, Daniel decides to head somewhere else for the night to play it safe. It's hard to know what exactly was making those sounds, but because they sounded very similar to human footsteps, it's possible that Daniel was being stalked by someone in the woods. This is obviously incredibly dangerous, as you can never really trust someone's intentions when you're in such a vulnerable position all by yourself in unknown territory. It was either that or an animal walking through the grass, but because Daniel mentioned the grass was a little wet and wouldn't have made that dry sound if an animal stepped on it, this is pretty unlikely. Also, many people in the comments mentioned that no animal walks that uniform and steady. They stop, go, and change pace constantly. Either way, it's a good thing he decided to leave, because who knows what could have happened to Daniel that night.
In this next video, a child is getting ready to go to school when something very strange happens. It was on a Monday at around 7 a.m. that this happened. He was packing his lunch for school at a time when no one else was awake. It was just him, alone downstairs in the kitchen. This is where the mother claims to have heard her son screaming out of his lungs in the most gut-wrenching manner. The video captures this, but there's also something else that's caught that no one in the family could explain. This is their footage. A voice with perfect clarity is heard on camera. The mother's son claims that it came from the kitchen, yet no one had been downstairs during this time. The whole space was empty apart from her son being there, but as it seems, he wasn't alone. Now this whole incident gets even creepier when listening to the story provided by the mother. According to her, this is what happened after her son came bolting into the bedroom upstairs.
He said that he heard a voice coming from the cabinets that said to him, "How did you find me?" Where he dropped his noodles, he ran upstairs, came busting in my room, jumping all over my bed, hiding in the corner, screaming and hollering, saying he didn't want to die. Somebody was in the house, somebody was in the house, telling me to get mine because somebody was in the house, somebody was in the house. And I'm like, and he finally did get a little bit quiet. We started hearing footsteps. I mean, big, heavy feet coming up the steps. So like now at this point, I'm terrified. I throw my robe on. I push him into the room with his brothers.
As she states, the sound of footsteps going up the staircase was heard just moments after her son came running into the room. Everyone else had been inside the room, so she had no clue as to who was on the staircase. But after watching this video, she now knows. Either someone was actually there, or, as many believe, something beyond comprehension had paid them a visit. Whatever the case might be, her son's guttural scream will stand out as the most horrifying part about this incident, according to the mother.
You know, despite it feeling weird, we figured we still need to tell the story because this is a good reminder to everybody that you need to check on your loved ones. It seemed this woman had passed and was laying here for God knows how long before she was found. So check in on your loved ones, guys.
Right in the middle of the hallway, a human body stain can be seen on the floor next to a walker, indicating that the old woman probably had a bad fall and couldn't get up. Sadly, she passed away and her body decomposed before anyone could save her, which is a terrifying way to die. There appear to be signs that the woman's family members tried to sort through her things after she passed away, but overall her various belongings are in perfectly good shape, including her bathroom supplies, which were still there at the time of the recording. It's hard to watch the footage without having conflicting feelings. Even though the house is beautiful and you can easily tell that the woman who lived there with her husband was a talented, outgoing person, it's incredibly sad to see how she met her end. Overall, the footage should serve as a reminder to check in on your loved ones every time you get the chance, because nobody deserves to pass away like that. Since 2020, Ridden with Ryder hasn't gone back to that location. In February 2020, urban explorer Ridden Ryder explored an abandoned house at an undisclosed location with his exploration partner Zay Clark. According to Ridden, the house used to belong to an old woman who had passed away. In complete contrast to most abandoned houses, most of the woman's possessions had been left untouched, indicating that the house had not yet fallen prey to looters and squatters who often take things that aren't theirs. All throughout the house, the two explorers find everything from beautiful tableware and silverware to ornately woven tapestries and a fully equipped bar. Based on the calendars they found in the house, the property hadn't been occupied since August 2018. Just a few minutes into the visit, Ridden and Zay find something incredibly sad and disturbing.
I've always been worried about something like this happening, and then it did. When we walked in here, we took a few steps in the door, and we saw this on the ground. Now, for those who can't figure that, figure out what that is a body stain. And you can see right there, there's a walker. So, unfortunately, it seems that the woman who had lived here had taken a bad fall, landed on the floor, and that's where she expired, unfortunately. It's extremely, extremely sad to us. It took us a good 20 minutes to decide what we're going to do here.
Rest of the bathroom. Sadly, some of the rooms in the school are filled with books, whiteboards, and other perfectly usable materials that could have been donated to another school before the building was abandoned. But nobody seemed to care enough to give them away before the school was abandoned. About half an hour into the visit, Chris climbs up to the roof, which in itself is pretty risky. Even if you don't care about getting caught by the cops, there's still a very high risk of the roof caving in, especially considering the state of the building when the footage was shot. Fortunately, he was able to climb down safely, but that's when a strange noise could be heard coming from the other end of one of the hallways.
Safe is still here. I wonder what's in it.
As Chris explores one of the rooms, a strange howl can be heard in the distance, and as he raises his camera, you can clearly see a shadow moving behind the door at the far end of the room. By this point, it's pretty clear that not only are multiple other people in the building with him, but now he's possibly being stalked. Once again, Chris draws his gun and prepares for an encounter, but he doesn't find anyone in any of the rooms. After this, he admits he's ready to call it a night and decides to head home, but not before this final encounter.
This place is weird as hell. Oh, here it is. This place is crazy. I remember the last time I explored it. Hello? Hello? What? Okay, I know I heard somebody coming down these stairs. I'm out.
As he struggles to find his way out of the school, the sound of footsteps can be clearly heard on the stairway directly above Chris's head, but after running up and calling out to see if he gets a response, nobody acknowledges him. Luckily, he was able to walk away unharmed and has continued to upload videos of his visits.
On January 28th of 2024, a mother posted the following footage that she caught on her home security camera. The mother stated this video was recorded inside her bedroom where various instances of paranormal activity had been taking place. In one of these instances, her daughter ran out of the room claiming she heard a woman scream. The mother was confused as she did not hear anyone scream, but upon checking the footage, she saw this. A scream from out of nowhere sends her daughter running out of the room. Now it's possible the camera was hacked, but this still does not explain the other strange activity that's been going on in her home. The mother believes this video is evidence of something supernatural. Whether or not that's the case, this video is still pretty creepy.
This next footage was captured in 2017 in Thailand. On the morning of December 26th, a 32-year-old radio operator named Mana was looking down at his phone as he walked back towards his car from his radio office when he had an unexpected near-death experience. As soon as he walks by the power line, the electricity cables above his head spontaneously explode. Had he taken a fraction of a second more to react, Mana would have been struck by the power line, which would have most likely been fatal. As he later revealed in an interview, the explosion was caused by an electrical fault due to overheating, which melted the nearby wires. At the time of the incident, the city had seen some pretty heavy rain, which only made things worse. According to sources close to the victim, some cities in Thailand are known for notoriously dangerous overhead cables that litter the streets and pose a significant risk to those who find themselves walking under them at the wrong time. Luckily, Mana was able to walk away unharmed, but the incident obviously raises a huge red flag to how electricity is structured in some of these cities. On November 21, 2018, a 24-year-old woman named Vanessa Donay sat in the back seat of her mother's Chevy Equinox with her 2-year-old daughter as they waited for Vanessa's mom to finish her appointment at a business center in Windsor, Canada. At one point during the waiting period, Vanessa noticed a suspicious man walk past their vehicle and stare at it for a little longer than necessary. Almost immediately after walking out of frame, the man doubles back around and approaches the car. With an alarmingly casual demeanor, he then enters the Chevy through the unlocked passenger door where he finds Vanessa and her daughter sitting in the back seat. Understandably terrified, Vanessa can be heard screaming at the man. Although the rest of the incident wasn't caught on camera, Vanessa reported that as soon as the man saw her, he gave her a disturbing smile, shut the door, and took off in his black pickup truck. After she reported the incident to the cops and posted the video on Facebook, some viewers theorized that the man had maybe just seen Vanessa's daughter, and thinking she was alone, he thought he could steal her. However, others thought he didn't see anybody and was just trying to steal the car. Just 3 days later, officers with the Windsor Police Property Crimes Unit saw the man drive a vehicle into a parking lot near the area of the incident. According to the police report, as soon as the man got out of the car and went into an apartment building, the cops followed and arrested him without incident. The man was immediately identified as 38-year-old Corey Oikel, and as it was later revealed, the vehicle he was found with was stolen, supporting the idea that he was only trying to steal Vanessa's car and not her daughter. Inside his car, the cops also found several stolen items from his previous car thefts, along with a bunch of random receipts that indicated the man had made fraudulent transactions using stolen property. As per the court documents that were released a couple of months later, the incident with Vanessa wasn't exactly Corey's first rodeo. After the cops were able to connect him with several other similar incidents from earlier that year, Corey was charged with 4 counts of possession of stolen property, 3 counts of theft, 2 counts of assault, uttering threats, attempted theft of a motor vehicle, theft of mail, and fraud. Fortunately, Vanessa was smart enough to scare him away by screaming before he could do anything even more messed up than his previous crime. This footage was captured on November 2nd, 2014, and shows a car speeding down Highway 78 at around midnight. A few seconds later, the video shows the driver slowing down to avoid hitting a suspicious roadblock up ahead, consisting of just 2 traffic cones blocking the entire road. As the driver brings his car to a stop, his headlights eerily catch the lower half of a man's body walking suspiciously towards his vehicle. When he tries to drive through the cones, the man stands in his way, blocking the car's path. Sensing something is off, the driver immediately calls out to the man to try to get an explanation.
What's going on? Can I help you with something?
Yes.
It probably wasn't the best idea to engage with a man who put cones in the middle of the highway, but then again, they could have been there for any number of reasons. In the caption of the video, the uploader mentioned that as soon as he asked him if he needed help, he saw the man reach into his pocket, and that's when the driver decided to play it safe and sped away. According to the uploader, the man and his accomplice were later detained by the cops, but were somehow only charged with DUI. If the man had been given more time, it's anyone's guess what he would have done, but luckily the driver didn't stick around long enough to find out.
The following footage was taken by Mark Roberts, who was climbing a mountain in Snowdonia with 2 pickaxes when a chunk of ice dislodged above him by another climber hit him, causing him to lose his grip and plummet 100 feet down the mountain. The footage shows Roberts hitting boulders and ice as he fell down the gully before finally coming to a stop. Luckily for Roberts, he got out of this with only a broken ankle. Fellow climbers called the emergency services and he was rescued soon after by an RAF helicopter.
And her family, filming their daily lives and capturing their most precious moments. On a day like any other, Nadine and her daughter Blake decide to relax and watch some TV. But this time, something's off. Already feeling a little creeped out, Blake tells her mom that something is wrong, as there seems to be a lingering sense of fear that she just can't shake. As the show progresses, things take a terrifying turn. Take a look.
Blakey, you okay?
There's nothing you can do or say to change that.
I love you. Do you want me to go open the door? Why?
Oh.
No?
Sucks for you.
Okay. Okay, I'm honestly freaking out and I don't know what to do. Just a couple minutes ago, I got up and I closed my door because she kept pointing to my room saying, Mommy, Mommy, someone's over there. And she was terrified. She was terrified. Of course, freaking me out. So I went over there and she just said, no, Mommy, come here, Mommy, sit, Mommy, don't go over there. And so I called the dog and I closed the door. And as you can see, dude, she's still terrified. She's still terrified. She doesn't want me going over there. She doesn't want me to open the door. Dude, I'm terrified.
Usually an upbeat and bubbly child, Blake is visibly shaken by the alleged figure. As mentioned in the video, Nadine sees no one standing in the doorway, so she has no idea what her daughter actually saw. However, this isn't the only instance of paranormal activity going on in her home.
In it, a white car can be seen traveling through a series of roundabouts before continuing on a straight road. Everything seems calm at first, but just 10 seconds into the video, something pretty messed up was caught by the driver's dashcam. Disturbingly, a woman can be seen crossing the street right when the car is going by and practically throws herself at the vehicle. A couple of seconds later, a man rushes towards the alleged victim and tries to get the driver to stop, though the driver had the common sense to drive away as fast as possible. Had the driver been distracted or shocked by the incident, he might have made the mistake of stopping and getting out to see if the victim was okay. Fortunately, the man and woman's bad acting made it more than obvious that something suspicious was going on, and that the driver would probably have been in danger had he gotten out of his car. It's hard to accurately gauge the intentions of someone crazy enough to launch themselves into oncoming traffic and put themselves in the line of danger like that. But according to the description in the original video, the driver initially thought that the whole incident was staged to pull off an insurance scam, in which the supposed victim and an accomplice stage an accident, fake a severe injury, and then exaggerate their claim to receive compensation for medical expenses from the insurance company. Although this was the driver's first thought, the reason he drove off so quickly was something completely different. Later that same morning, the driver reported the incident to the police and mentioned in his statement that even though it wasn't captured by the dashcam, as soon as the man on the side of the road rushed out to help the supposedly injured woman, a group of men could be seen emerging from the shadows and sprinting toward the vehicle from behind. Realizing the danger he would be in if he got out of the vehicle, the driver took off immediately to avoid a potential carjacking, extortion, or even kidnapping. According to the Browns Plains police station, an investigation was launched after the report, but the people involved were never found. It's unknown what would have happened to the driver had he gotten out of his car to assess the woman's supposed injuries, or even had stayed there a bit longer in his car. One can only assume that the men were trying to get him out of his car for some horrific purpose.
This video was captured in Kunar province, Afghanistan by a US soldier under Taliban machine gun fire in the middle of a firefight. The soldier came out into the open on a hill to draw fire so that his squad could get to safety.
Yo!
The soldier was hit a total of 4 times, and on several occasions, you can hear rounds whistling by or see the dirt and dust kicked up off the ground by the rounds that just barely missed him. The soldier and his squad were doing overwatch on the village to recon and gather intel when they got hit. The rest of his squad was pinned down by machine gun fire, which is why he stepped out into the open to draw the attention.
I'm hit! I'm hit! I'm hit!
The soldier's helmet cam died before he could make it down the mountain, but 0 rounds penetrated his body armor, and he made it home with no permanent injuries.
I'm hit!
Not much is known about the following video. It said it was filmed by a man in 2018 on the side of a road in Canada. At first, seemingly nothing paranormal is captured on video, but upon further inspection, there's something far more sinister. The video starts with just a moose feasting on grass, but then, this is caught. Beyond the moose, there appears to be a mysterious, humanoid creature creeping towards it. Given his pale appearance, some are convinced this video is proof of a skinwalker or rake caught on camera. Rake or not, the creature in question appears to be stalking the moose. The video ends abruptly, and there has been no follow-up since. Whether this is a rake or not, the video is downright terrifying.
Somebody's shooting. That's Cleveland. Wow. That's crazy. It's not even that far away from here. Oh, that sounds like a shootout.
Chris has experience exploring everything from abandoned mental hospitals and sanatoriums to vacant occult temples, and he shrugs off the fear as he enters the creepy building. Just like in many abandoned buildings, Chris finds a mattress on the floor, meaning at least one person has been sleeping there recently. As he captures footage of the first floor and walks up the stairs to the second floor, all that can be heard in the eerie darkness is the sound of his footsteps. A few minutes later, Chris goes down to the basement, and the footage becomes increasingly creepier as Chris runs into a series of dead ends under the leaky, moldy ceiling.
Okay, I'm hearing something. Maybe it's an animal. There's animals down here.
At several points during his exploration of the basement, he can be heard making comments about a strange noise coming from somewhere on that floor, and at first he seems to think it's an animal. Alarmingly, he finds a few shell casings on the ground from what was probably a 9mm handgun. Although it would be pretty unsettling to find something like this lying on the ground in an abandoned factory basement, it's worth mentioning that police departments often use abandoned buildings and complexes for training exercises. However, in this case, it's impossible to know if that's really what happened. Shortly after, he comes across a series of disturbing messages on the walls. He continues recording as he walks down narrow corridors, and this is where things get a lot more disturbing.
This place is so wet. Oh, scared the out of me. Yo. You need some help, bro? Yo.
Now this next video is pretty short, but it's still nonetheless pretty creepy. It was submitted to me by a viewer who found the video on Instagram. The original source is unknown, but despite lacking any context, the video speaks for itself. A mother is alone at home with her 2 children when strange things start happening. Now the person who sent this further adds that the mother had been experiencing paranormal occurrences at home ever since moving in. This video is just one of many of those occurrences. It's late at night when the following happens. Watch.
So it's just us here, and Henry's at work, and I'm in here in my kitchen chairs out there. Shh. And I'm freaking the right now. Shh. Ready?
Now right when the video starts, it's immediately evident that the children are distressed. Something is upsetting them, and we don't know what it is until moments later. The mother walks out cautiously from the safety of her room when a chair abruptly slides over. This was enough to send her running back inside, brimming with immense fear. Not much else is known about what happened afterward, but if one had a guess, it would be that they remained inside the room until the father, who she mentions, returned home. This next video was taken by a man who caught something pretty creepy while taking a smoke break outside his house. It was 7 in the morning when this happened, which according to the man was a time that no one else in his family was awake except for him. He was all alone, smoking a cigarette, while staring at the woods surrounding his backyard. But after looking closely at the separate garage next to his house, he immediately dropped his cig. Although unable to move at first because of how shaken up he was by what he saw, he quickly takes out his phone and starts to record. Whatever it was that was inside his garage has left him too afraid to ever look inside while taking a smoke. This is what he caught.
What the f, bro? Okay, cool.
In this next video, 2 friends are exploring an abandoned paper mill with extreme caution. Aside from the fact that the old mill has potential hazards all around, there's another reason why both men are treading carefully. Rumor has it, the old paper mill is haunted. Now both friends are known as Kenneth and Justin, and they've set out to explore a place where residents have either seen or heard unexplainable things. One resident recounts a time when he and his friends saw something pretty creepy.
Yeah, most definitely. The paper mill's haunted as shit, because I went there the one night, me and my buddies. We all went over there, and we were drinking a little bit, but yeah, my buddy caught it on camera that like something ran behind us.
No kidding.
On Snapchat, like he caught it on camera and everything.
Dude, I'm gonna be down there trying to get some.
Now there's a lot more stories from others who live near the mill, but the reason Kenneth and Justin are visiting the place is not because it's haunted, but rather to see what's left of it. This is a hobby of theirs, and the old paper mill in Austin, Pennsylvania is on their list of places to explore. But little did they know that something terrifying would happen while being there. Both friends are exploring the old mill when they find a dark space beneath the building. They head down and capture this.
Well, I want to get that lower, closer down here.
There's a bone on the beaver dam there. Good.
Holy shit.
See it right there?
What is it?
A bone.
Bone. I don't see it. Oh, it is. What the fuck?
The night of March 5th of 2024, a young girl is wide awake at a time when she should be asleep. Despite being past her bedtime, this doesn't stop her from playing with her toys. Throughout the night, she remains awake while keeping herself engaged in imaginary play. But little does she know, something unexpected would interrupt playtime. According to the child's mother, the family has been on edge ever since watching the footage recorded on their daughter's security camera. It's around 11 at night when this is captured.
Can I play with you? Hey, can you play with me? Sure, I'll play with you. Come on, you play with me, yeah. Bling, 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 yum, doo, doo. What's going on? Let's go. Let's go.
It's no wonder that the mother has kept her daughter away from this room. From a toy lighting up on its own and strangely playing the same song the child hums, to seeing her getting dragged under the bed in a seamless motion, the family is extremely concerned for the safety of their children. They believe that something had lured her using a toy. Although it isn't certain if the mother had asked what her daughter had seen, she's made sure to lock the room after seeing this. But only a few days later, she does this.
So I've been getting a lot of questions. People have been asking me Have you been in the room? Have you guys looked under the bed? No, we haven't. We haven't been in the room in the last 2 days. We've been a little scared. Be scared right now. Oh my god.
As if checking under the bed wasn't already scary enough, she captures this, a creepy looking doll hidden below the mattress. She continues to record when suddenly the doll begins to move. Now it's a bit hard to see at first, but after looking again, its head can be seen shifting ever so slightly. It's as if it knows it's being seen. Immensely terrified, the mother bolts out of the room in a panic frenzy. Naturally, she's kept the room locked ever since then. While it isn't known if anything else had occurred outside of the room, the mother continues to post updates giving her thoughts on the whole situation. But currently, the question on the parents' mind remains unanswered. Just what exactly had dragged their child under the bed?
Warning, do not watch if easily scared. Real possession caught on live stream.
Sudah mau habis, bah. Touch. Sekejap awak semua. Saya kasih cas dulu. Sini dulu nak on. Sini ialah ni yang punya bank. Kecil. Sorry. Oh, pantat. Sorry. Ya. Okay.